Having trouble with your garage door? Problem solved. Call Direct Service Overhead Garage Door Company. We're your go-to team for garage door repair, new garage doors, openers, and more. We offer same-day service. We're always ready when you need us. Best of all, you can book your appointment online or talk to a live operator 24/7. No machines, no waiting. So whether it's a broken spring or a brand new garage door, trust the local experts at Direct Service Garage Doors. Call us today or visit directserviceoverhead.com.
Yo, what's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans? Welcome to the Test Talk with Tab Postgame live show. Hope you guys are all doing really swell. Oh, man, you got to love it. Arkansas, kind of a weird game. Not off to the best of starts, a pretty typical start, but still, like A&M going on that 9-0 run. What the hell was that all about, huh? What? Of course, that's just kind of part of the course. It's part of the course, isn't it? Hey, make sure you guys, as you're piling in here, like, share, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you hit the notification bell. That way, you know as soon as I go live, you get, hopefully, God willing, and the YouTube God's willing, you know when we're live, because you get that notification that you're supposed to get. So yeah. Also, Patreon supporters, listen. You don't have to be a paid member. All you got to be is just a member of Tuss Talk with Ty Patreon. I have a video up, kind of responding to a certain video from a young lady talking about the Walton family and the NIL. Just go watch it. Again, you don't have to be a paid member. It's free for anybody. You just got to be a member, which you can be a free member. So go do that and go watch the video. We've already got a $5 super chat. No Name Matt says, proud of this team, never gave up with a $5 super chat. I appreciate the super chat. I don't know that they had anything to, they trailed and they got off to a slow start, but then they started to pile on. And then right before the half, a couple of minutes before the half, you kind of noticed the wind out of the Arkansas Razorbacks lost the wind in their sails. And A&M started to make some adjustments on defense. And boy, Acuff started off. My God, Acuff started off really bad, only to close out and ended up having a typical Acuff game. Maybe not typical in the in terms of like his shooting percentage, but just a typical game where he recovers and he just wills things. So that's what Acuff does. Maybe better than anybody in the SEC. Once he turns it on, Acuff can be an absolute problem, and usually is. He just usually is a problem. He's just, you could tell he wasn't real happy with his play, especially in the first half. What did he have in the first half? 5 points? He was like 0 for 5 to start the game, and I think he was like one of. I don't even remember what it was. I usually do a pretty good job of screen capping that, and then posting it in my super secret Discord server so I can take all my notes, and I didn't tonight. I was busy handing out legendary status Patreon cards, autographed former Arkansas player cards. We handed out 2 of the 3. We got 1 more to go. By the way, you could sign up tonight and have a shot at winning that card. And we've got 1 more autograph card we're going to give away before the end of the month. So I don't know, all sorts of reasons to join Tuss Talk with Ty Patreon right now. Just saying. That's what really keeps this show afloat, along with Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company. You can see their logo there at the bottom of the screen. They have a new website. Travis has upgraded the site, and it's actually pretty cool. So I'll make sure to get that link for you guys at some point after this show. Appreciate the other Mike sharing the Patreon link. Appreciate that, man. And I appreciate the super chats as well. Arkansas just, started off slow. Again, going back to my notes here. First half notes, Texas A&M out to an early 11-2 lead after a 9-0 run. Hogs making just 2, so they shot just 20% from the floor on their first 10 attempts. with this team, I can remember with Musselman teams, you had a pretty good idea of what they were going to do offensively in their first 15 shots. You knew it was probably in those first 15, maybe 20 shots, you had a pretty good idea of what you were in for on the night. With this team this year, with this offense, with how efficient they are, we really need to judge them based on their first 50 shots. I don't know, or 30 shots. Spurt ability is a thing for teams that don't really have a lot of offense. They have to rely on maybe a 10-0 run, and that's it. And then it's gonna be a bloodbath down in the paint with a lot of fouls. That was the Musselman way, for a little while. This team this year, it's no, they really can go on a 12-2. I mean, they went on two separate 8-0 runs in the first half, which one of those ended up being stretched out quite a bit. So, again, Hogs made just 2 of their first 10 shots. Really, I'm going to start looking at their first 20. I'm done with looking at the first 10, which you shouldn't do anyways in this day and age of basketball. Anyways, a typical rough start, right? After the slow start, the Hogs take a 16-11 lead after a 16-0. That was that other run that got stretched out. 16-0 run with under 11 minutes to go in the first half. Richmond had 13 points in the first 10 minutes of this game. Fantastic defense in the first half by Arkansas, forcing 6 turnovers, 4 steals in just the first 11 minutes of play. I don't know that they've done that all year at home or on the road in SEC play. And they also forced a shot clock violation. Now remember, A&M scores a lot of points. Their offense, although lately has not been as efficient, so it's starting to hit their numbers a little bit. Overall in the year, they've been one of the probably top 4, top 5 offenses in the SEC, and that's saying a lot. Especially when you got teams like Arkansas and Alabama who are at the top of the country in scoring. And A&M at one point in the year when they were off, this is why I said a couple of weeks ago, A&M could be something to a problem to deal with. They've really cooled off the last 5-6 games. They kind of got it going tonight a little bit against Arkansas. Well, one player did who could get away with murder tonight. But anyways, moving on. This defensive effort is pretty impressive against an A&M team that is very much capable of scoring a whole bunch of points at home, neutral floor, or on the road. They are absolutely capable of scoring a lot of points. I don't think they're I don't look at them as a deep run tournament team unless they get the right matchups. They're going to be they're definitely a matchup reliant team, mostly because of their size. I don't think, and maybe I'm in the minority here, I don't think they have they're deep, and that's going to be one of the reasons why they could probably go on a run, but their size, and I don't think they've got a lot of athletes. I don't think they have a lot of guys that can really, not a lot of two-way players, and they're I don't know. They're kind of inside out. You know what I mean? Anyways, also starting inside 7 minutes to play, Aggies had at one point it was 4 turnovers in 5 possessions, which I think ended up being 6 straight possessions where they, and I might be wrong about this, but I think it was 6 straight possessions without scoring. Arkansas hasn't done that a lot this year. And so this is one of those games where maybe even Tim Neal on the Monday Night Lights live show would have to agree. The defense played pretty damn good ball tonight. Yeah, the second half, I think you could argue there was just some interesting lack of calls on A&M, even when they had the ball. And it really, you could tell it started to really go in their favor on offense. They were able to get some easy buckets, and it kind of changed the way Arkansas was playing defense a little bit, at least the guys on the floor with how they were playing defense a little bit. And I'm not saying anybody was in any serious foul trouble. Obviously, they had a guy foul out. But, and then the second half, despite a once 15-point lead, A&M was able to chip away and bring this thing. I think the closest they got was within 4 points. And it looked like we were going to have ourselves a dogfight. Now, if you guys remember, I said they're capable of making this a ball game and making this tough. But I always thought Arkansas was going to win this game. I say always. I mean, the last 3 or 4 games watching them play, I definitely thought Arkansas would beat them, especially at home. Not sure I'd even change my opinion at their place, to be honest with you. So, yeah, Arkansas, kind of a back and forth, interesting game a little bit there in the first half. When I say back and forth, it was A&M again on that fast start, shooting great. And then Arkansas off to a horrible start. Acuff 0 for 5 or whatever it was, 1 for his first 6 or 7. And then Arkansas chipped away and then just blew up, and then they go on that unbelievable 16-0 run. I think that might be the biggest run in SEC play. I could be wrong. I feel like that's their biggest run, 16-0. There might have been another game where they had a bigger run. I think that, well, it's at very least one of the top 2, top 3 runs they went on this year, and A&M just did not have an answer. Arkansas, like the thumbnail says, just too much for Texas A&M. They're just, A&M is not, right now A&M is just not that kind of team that can walk into Bud Walton and win this game. But they did make it interesting in the second half. I'll give them that. So, yeah, again, if you guys are just now piling in here, make sure you like, share, please. I'm not just saying this. Subscribe if you haven't already. Sharing is caring. Make sure you retweet the Tuss Talk with Ty X page and all that. So let's read some comments here. Mark Dotson joined the Tuss Talk with Ty membership. Mark, hold on. I think you have a card here. Were you not a former Patreon member? Hold on. I got a bunch of these. I got a bunch of cards that went unclaimed. Oh no, Doug Stubbs. I swear Mark Dodson was a former. Yeah, no, you were. You're a former Patreon member. You won a Ryan Mallett card in September that you never claimed. I tagged you. I think I went into your Patreon. I think I DM'd you in Patreon. Yeah, you've got a card, man. A Ryan Mallett. It's not autographed because you weren't legendary status, but you got a Ryan Mallett card waiting on you. I thought I noticed that name. See, I do everything I can to make sure you guys get these cards. We are going to have to institute like a 30-day if you don't respond to a DM or an email or whatever I send you, or if it's through Patreon or if it's through Discord, we may have to just put that card back in rotation. Dude, I had to change my card. Wait, I had to change my card and had a kid. And my brains are scrambled, bro. No, I'm not faulting you, man. Hey, that's crazy. You've had a crazy life. I'm just saying, man, I tried reaching out to you, and you won this Chrome Ryan Mallett card. It's a gorgeous card. You won this back in September. So do me a favor, man. If you're in our Discord, DM me your address, and I'll make sure that gets that gets to you. I have had a couple of cards sent back to me. Josh Garr has a card coming his way. He's got a who did he win? Josh Garr won a good card. Was it Anthony Black? A Chrome Anthony Black card? Not autographed. Again, not a legendary status member. Gotta sign up. Eagle says a white dude should have fouled out with 8 minutes left. Yeah, a lot of nonsense out of him. A lot of nonsense that kind of was getting on my nerves. Like, why aren't they? What's the deal here? Billy Richmond kicking ass says no name Matt. Boy, you're not kidding. Hero Blake, we can't go down 9 early at Florida like today. Florida is, since we're not doing a Wednesday show or an official Wednesday show where we usually go into this following Saturday game, I'll do that here in a minute. We'll talk about Florida here in just a little bit. Good evening, Todd. What's up, Brim? How you doing, man? An off Akoff game, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, LMAO. Yeah, I was getting to that, Brim. I was getting to that. I was kind of poking fun at it. So the question is, who the hell gets the gold? Who gets the post-game gold chain brought to you by Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company? Who gets the gold chain? Because I think you got a couple of candidates here. Akoff, again, started off slow. He did take 19 shots, but he was 7 of 19. 1 of 6 outside. Very, very unlike this team. The outside shooting tonight was definitely off for especially for Arkansas. The efficiency not there. And, man, I'd say like 2 or 3 of those just kind of rimmed out or maybe not rimmed out, but just you felt like they should have gone in. And so felt like they probably left a couple of those on the floor. Probably it had a couple of those gone in. You're looking at like a 30-ish% night. Still not an efficient night outside. When you're just shooting 17 and you only make 4, I mean, you know. So yeah. Again, make sure you guys are sharing the content. All right, make sure you're sharing, please. On Tuss Talk with Ty. I see Brim. He retweeted the show. How about that? So did Woo Pig Dustino. And I think did McAfee Ligma? Did he retweet the show? Tim Neal as well, the co-host of the Monday Night Lights live show. Again, I think he would have to admit that the defense was better tonight overall. Yeah, they still ended up giving up 84 points. But in the first half, especially, that was a very good way to bounce back after trailing early. Again, 11-2 lead. I mean, you know the cliff jumpers, the people that live on the edge of the cliff who are wanting to jump off the damn ledge. You know they were freaking out, and I'm just sitting here going, I'm not concerned. I was in a group chat. I'm in a group chat, and they're like, "Oh my God, we suck." No, we're fine. Just hang on. Just hang on. And then what happened? Arkansas goes on that 16-0 run. And then, of course, that group chat goes quiet. It's kind of funny how that works out, isn't it? And some of them might even be in here. So, you know who you are. Yeah, so I guess the question is, again, we got to figure out who the hell wins this gold chain. I should have done a poll. I didn't do a poll. That's my bad. But I think there's some legitimate candidates here. And I wouldn't even write off someone like Malik Ewan tonight. I think Malik Ewan deserves to be in the conversation. Are you kidding me? Maybe even Brazil. Brazil tonight had 4 offensive rebounds. We know that doesn't happen much. He had 4 offensive rebounds tonight with 8 total. So half of his rebounding with a good number, a solid round number at 8, which is what you want him to do. Listen, if you can get 14 points in 8 boards, 3 assists, no blocks tonight, which is rare, with a steal, and again, just 1 turnover, you're going to take that every night of the week. That in a tournament setting, of course, you'd like for him to get his blocks, right? They only had 4 blocks tonight, which I thought they were going to go off on blocks. I really did. I thought the length advantage Arkansas has with the arm length and just the overall size and athleticism, I thought they were going to get maybe 7 or 8 blocks tonight. They had 4. But so you would like for Brazil to maybe have a couple of blocks in a tournament setting game, but those other numbers, again, the 3 assists, the just 1 turnover, 1 steal, 4 of 6 shooting, 1 of 3 outside, 14 points, 8 boards, 4 offensive rebounds. Yeah, you're going to take that. Absolutely. You're going to take that. That was terrific. So I feel like Brazil belongs in that conversation. So who gets the gold chain tonight, chat? Who gets it? And if you're watching this after the fact, if you're watching this on Thursday morning, you're on your way to work, or maybe on your way home from work, you just wanted to hear Tyler yell at the microphone a little bit. You tell me if you agree or disagree with my pick. Okay. So we're gonna go over A&M's numbers here in just a second. Let me make sure we get back to live chat here. Let's get back to the live chat. Country Boy says, Billy, Country Boy, you got to behave yourself tonight. Okay. Can you behave yourself tonight? I almost picked Ewan and Billy Goat. Had 23 points on 60+% shooting. Yeah, he had a hell of a night, man. There's no doubt. Yeah, Billy Richmond goes 8 of 13 tonight. He went 8 of 13, man. So it's going to Billy Richmond. Post-game gold chain. Congrats. Billy Richmond is making a habit of this, man. I loved that ESPN backed me up. What did I say last week? And I had a little bit of pushback on this. I said he's becoming the most important player on this roster. In this short-ass 7-man, which will hopefully turn into an 8-man rotation before they get into the tournament. I'm not so sure that it's going to, especially with no Knox and Sealy. I thought for sure he'd get some minutes tonight. Billy Richmond, even if you had the extra players in rotation, he is becoming, and he is the most important two-way player. He's the most important player on this roster. Acuff's a scorer, no doubt. His defense, I thought tonight his defense was pretty good. But congrats to Billy Richmond. Once again, winning the post-game gold chain. Brought to you by Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company, man. Congrats, Billy Richmond. Absolutely. Oh, y'all, I don't know if YouTube's going to get mad at me for this, but I drank some of this tonight in my Sprite. I'm not a heavy drinker, okay? You guys know I usually have a cigar to go with what I'm drinking. It's Buchanan's Pineapple, and I drank it with my Sprite. Oh my God, dude! I just found a new absolutely incredible. That's like a 7, 8, maybe a 7.5 out of 10 drink. Is this stuff with some Sprite? It's so delicious. We know, Ty. We know you did. Wait. You know I did what? Did I said? Yeah, you're damn right. Did I said that Billy Richmond is the most important? I know. And I had pushback on that. And I'm just saying, I get called out when I'm wrong. Why am I never getting a pat on the back for people, for crying out loud, when I get things right? It may not be super common, but by God, give me my flowers, please. That's all I ask. We got to put on the chain to signify that we had our gold, for the late joiners, to signify who that we have given away the gold chain. That's why you're always drunk. I'm not always drunk. What the hell are you talking about? You got to lean in your Sprite. Dude, I like them both. Starry, which was formerly known as Sierra Mist by Pepsi products. I like them both, but man, Sprite's the ultimate mixing drink. Straight up, I prefer Starry. I'm sorry, I just do. I think Sierra Mist was the better of the two. But when you're mixing, it's got to go to Sprite. It was good. It's gonna help me sleep tonight. Not what I meant, Ty. Wait, what'd you mean, man? Let's see. Ty knows what he's doing. I appreciate you, No Name Matt. Thank you. That's all I ask. A little recognition. Ty, get a brass chain for the worst player of each game, like fouling, etc. You see A&M player step on Acuff ankle. I did, Gary. I did, and I think he's okay. But man, stay in that boot, Acuff. Whatever you do, stay in your boot. All right? It's obviously a good boot. Stay in it. Here we go. Addison Brooks got to spread his bullshit with a midweek game in February. Are you kidding? It's a midweek game. Do you know ball, Addison? I mean, I know you're an Ole Miss fan, so we probably have to spell it out for you. It's a midweek game in February, okay? We're not even talking baseball, sir. Let me read here. Bacardi and Coke, do it. Yeah, no, Bacardi, yeah. Yeah, I think I've had Bacardi and Coke. I'm sure I have. Scrolling up here. Pringle deserves a black chain for being the best at fouling each game. He deserves a black chain for not being good, not getting the kind of production we want out of him. Cough, Judster cough, says the other Mike. Yeah, talking about the ledge jumpers, right? Blessing in disguise. Now, hold on. Maybe. Yeah, listen, I don't want to veer into baseball. I don't want to veer into it in this, but they got to work some things out. Okay. Dave Van Horn, you kind of feel like they might be overdue for a disappointing season. I know I shouldn't say that, knock on wood, that doesn't happen, but, I see you, Dotson. I see you with the, okay. Make sure you, yeah, I'll give me your address, Mark, and I'll get that to you. Let's see. Ty, people acted like the Arkansas program was falling apart when they lost Arkansas State, despite most 6 teams losing to unranked teams. Okay, so you're talking about the game one. Yeah. A number of top teams lost midweek games. It happens. It's okay. So let's take a look at these numbers here really quick. Why did A&M get to 84 points? Why were they able to kind of hang around? I mean, they brought this thing within single digits multiple times in both the first and second half. Again, they had the big lead to start this game off with when they were up 11-2. They cleaned up their shooting, and they ended up shooting 30 of 57. That's better than Arkansas, 53%. They were 8 of 25. That's, shot selection most of the game. I'd say 70% of this game was not good for them outside. Arkansas was doing a very good job, I thought, at perimeter play on defense. But they cleaned that up a little bit, and they made, I think, what were they in the first half? Again, I didn't take any of the numbers. It wasn't good. And then the second half, the three-point shooting got better, 8 of 25 there. So 32%, that's somewhat efficient. When you're on the road and you're shooting around that's not great, but it's okay, whatever. Then their free throw shooting also, it didn't do them a whole lot there, but 16-23. They got out rebounded like crazy here, 36-28. But that shouldn't shock anybody. The turnovers, again, we already touched on the turnovers of the first half. I mean, they turned the ball over a lot in that first half. I think they ended up with like 9 turnovers or something, maybe double digits before half. But they ended up with 16 16 turnovers, 18 assists to 16 turnovers. So they're only +2 in that category. And that is way too damn many turnovers. Just 3 steals, 1 block, and 6 offensive rebounds. But again, they cleaned up their shooting on the floor. Even though they got off to a good start, we know that there was a chunk of time in the first half where they were terrible, where they went something like only scoring 6 on 8 possessions or something. I mean, it was bad. And they had a scoring drought. You can't do that against Arkansas. They step on the gas and they go. And again, the thing that it gives you a lot of hope is that Acuff clearly not 100%, clearly was not doing anything in the first half, and Arkansas was still able to go on that incredible run in the first half, that 16-0 run, which ended up being like an 18-4, 18-2 run, something like that, without Acuff really having anything to do with it. That tells you a lot about this team, like especially with Billy Richmond scoring 23 points. Now, you know what I failed to do? I didn't give you his numbers when I said he got the gold chain. Again, and Brim kind of brought this up already, but Billy Richmond, 8 of 13. That's some efficient ass shooting right there. That's good, homie. 1 of 2 outside, 50% shooting, and he was perfect at the free throw line. 6 for 6, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 steals, a block, and 1 offensive rebound. Billy Richmond had himself a hell of a game. I mean, he had himself a hell of a game. 23 points, scoring just 1 point ahead of Acuff, who had 22. Acuff not efficient at all. And he's going to take a lot of shots. But he cleaned it up. Again, I think in the second half, later on, I thought he ended up going something like 6 of 8 or 6 of 7. But very efficient as the game was closing out in the final, 7 or 8 minutes. He really turned it on. So he was terrific. 7 and 9, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. So again, 22 points, 7 assists for Acuff. All right, that's 4 more than Richmond. He had Acuff showed some chops tonight on defense with 3 steals. Again, I thought his defense was probably some of the best defense I've seen him play this year in SEC play. I would like to see this moving forward on defense from him for sure. But make no mistake about it, Billy Richmond is, and I'm not saying he's stealing the limelight here. If anything, Acuff is just sharing it. And Billy Richmond, he's shining, man. This is what good players do on good teams. Leak Thomas tonight, he only had 13 points. He wasn't super efficient. But then you kind of saw him, he had a couple of possessions there where he's flying by guys, and he's capable of scoring 20 points. We know he is. Tonight wasn't a great night for him, and he still scored 13 points. He had 3 boards and just 1 turnover with 3 steals. So the 2 freshmen tonight had 6 steals between the 2 of them and 36 points between the 2 of them combined. And that's an off night for Leak. This was really an off night. And the other guy we cannot pass up is Malik Ewan. 7 offensive rebounds. This is why he's in the conversation of player of the night. In fact, thinking about it, he probably is actually runner-up, just ahead of Acuff because Acuff's shooting percentage wasn't great. Malik Ewan was 6 of 7, 6 of 6 at the free throw line, 3 rebounds, and he also got shoved out of the way a couple times. His defense was shit tonight. Some of it, not all of it. But 4 assists, 1 steal, a block, 7 offensive rebounds. Again, that doesn't happen ever. No matter who you want to talk about between the bigs, him and Pringle and Brazil. Not very often on the grand scale. So 7 offensive boards along with 18 points. Malik Ewan was as efficient as you could get tonight. And it was when he does this, and again, he can't be so out physical. I hate seeing that, but that's just kind of who he is. But if he steps up just a little bit on defense, just a little bit, step it up on defense just a little bit. Step it up just a little bit. And keep that offensive play. Do more of what you did tonight with the efficiency, baby. I mean, he had a steal and a block to go with those 3 boards, 4 assists, and 18 points. Come on. I love it. Ewan was great. Ewan was fantastic tonight. All the shit that this kid gets. And some of it is, listen, I side with it, especially when you talk about the defensive play. He plays like tonight. If Richmond continues playing like he did tonight moving forward, or not just tonight, obviously the stretch of games that Richmond, how good he's looked, and then with Acuff and obviously Leak was down a little bit. Listen, not everybody's going to shoot for 23 points, but I love where this team's going. And Wagner too. Wagner, not mind blowing. 3 of 7. 3 of 4 at the line, 4 boards, assist. He also had a block. Boy, felt like everybody had a block tonight, but even though they ended up with 4. But Wagner with 9 points. Somewhat, decent 29 minutes on the floor. Not great, but you know what? He can absolutely have those moments. And Bud Walton loves it. When Wagner has those moments where he just flashes, he gets a steal. He has one of those unbelievable, it's funny how these guys and their approach at the rim, like all of them have different styles when they go up for layups, right? Like Brazil always makes 1 or 2 of those a game that are like, what the hell is he doing? He's not going to make that. And then he makes it and it looks like it shouldn't go in and it does. And then he ends up on his back, somewhere on the floor or on his side. And he's like kind of getting up. And then Wagner has his style. Richmond has his style. Acuff, they all have different approaches to the rim on layups. It's kind of fun to watch, actually. I've noticed that I've noticed it for the last 10 or 12 games. But I'm loving where this team is going on offense. And I hope we can see consistent play. Dykes said something interesting tonight where he said that Arkansas has a Final Four offense and a Sweet 16 defense. Did you guys catch that? I caught it, and I was like, no, I don't think they have a Sweet 16 defense, Jimmy. I don't think that's the case. I would argue it's a one-and-done defense still. Defense still has a lot of work. Maybe it's working its way up to being a two-and-done. Maybe it's kind of getting there, but I just don't think it's there. I just don't think it's there, sir. I don't think they're there yet. On defense. Offense is like championship level. I'm just going to say it. The offense is playing to win it all championship level. Because it's not like blunt force offense. It's not like, they just feed their bigs down low and they just score buckets. Their guards are kind of so-so. No. They can score. Their bigs can score. Brazil stretches the floor and can knock down 3 or 4 threes a game, can get some easy plays to the rim, can be a force in the post on offense. Ewan, again, tonight against a decent SEC opponent, 18 points, 7 offensive boards, and then your guards, 2 of them freshmen. This is incredible, right? On offense, it's just it's a 1-2-3 punch, man. It's not a 1-2 punch. It's a 1-2-3 punch. They can hit you. You got guys that could pop up from 15 feet out and knock down the mid-range. You got your perimeter guy. My God, you feel like everybody could shoot a 3. Wagner, when he's hot, that dude can make 2 or 3 threes a game. Brazil can obviously do it. Acuff can obviously do it. Leak can do it. And now Billy Richmond is getting better at knocking down threes, even though tonight he was just 1 of 2. But still, that's 50%. Efficiency matters, right? So it just goes all into it. And then when you look at what Arkansas did tonight, right? Okay, 36 boards. So they were +8 over A&M. 18 assists. They were 2 to 1 in assist to turnover ratio. When was the last time this team turned the ball over in double digits? For real, it feels like it's been maybe it was sooner than I realized. It feels like it was months ago. They were 18 assists to 9 turnovers with 9 steals, 4 blocks, and again, 13 offensive boards. That's where I want you to be. I want you to be there. And if you're going to only shoot 17 attempts, then I want you making 7 or 8 of those. I love the free throw shooting tonight. My God, 33 attempts, and you make 29 of them. Are you kidding? 88%. I don't mind the 51. The 51% is fantastic, right? Especially when you like to score in the paint as often as you do. Let me get back to chat here really quick. Ty, imagine if we beat Florida. Yeah, that almost became a really big game, didn't it? It almost became a really big game had Texas held on, but Florida pulled away there. All caps, unbiased brim says Ty, 2 and done is Sweet 16. Jimmy Dykes was dead on. No. I didn't say. He said Sweet 16 defense. I'm saying when I say a round 2 defense, I mean eliminated in round 2. Brim, I think you sometimes mishear me, man. I didn't say they were a two and done. I said they were, and if I did, maybe I misspoke. I meant they're a round 2 defense at best, is what I'm saying. Obviously 2 and done in Sweet 16. Come on, dude. You know I know ball. Don't do that. Our defense is trash, but with Billy in starting lineup, we can outscore anybody in the country. This team is built for tournament run. Yeah, again, I want to see better defensive play. I just do, but I still feel like with everything that they've got going on offense, and they just play such precise basketball. I mean, you're right. That should be good enough to carry them. I just disagree with Dykes. This is not a Sweet 16 defense. This is not a Sweet 16 defense, man. It's not, okay? They still gave up the points tonight. A&M is still able to hang around. Why is that? Why is it that A&M was able to hang around? Now, you took care of business, and I really think after that big run you went on 2 really nice runs in the first half. I really think after that big run, I kind of felt like I just don't see Arkansas losing this game, again, because of how great the offense is. I don't have faith that the defense is going to hold anybody. I don't care what those defensive efficiency numbers say. You can watch these guys and see that, man, they struggle, even though some guys, like maybe Acuff, starting to play better defense. You've got one. Tell me there's more than one great defender on this roster. And that's not indicative of a Sweet 16 defense. I'm sorry. Like, outside of Billy Richmond, maybe Wagner, maybe. As a perimeter guy, I don't see him getting beat off the dribble that often. I see when he gets taken to the post, that's where he starts to struggle if someone's going to pop up with a mid-range shot. But I don't see very many. I don't see very many, times that he gets beat off the dribble. But really, like, he's not playing defense at an extremely high level as far as I could see. Like, we're not talking about Wagner as anything all conference. Like, let's start talking about the all conference, like the defensive players. And how many do you think are on this roster? Through first, second, and third team, how many all defensive players do you think Arkansas is going to have? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. And maybe they get it together. And I'm not trying to shit on Arkansas. I'm not trying to say they're bad. Like I said, they are very capable. They're very dangerous in tournament in March. But the defense, it's not Sweet 16 level. I can't agree with that. I'm saying they're starting to play like a team, or their defense is starting to look like maybe it's not a one and done defense, right? That maybe they can get to the second round defensively. Maybe they can reach that for me. But I have a hard time seeing that right now. I just haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it consecutively, I should say. But yeah, I don't think outside of Richmond, I don't know how many, and I know too, they're going to play into the metrics. They're going to play into what the numbers say. But there's a difference between, how the metrics are ran, which I don't know, someone's going to have to explain some of that to me, and just watching them play. I think there's really just one. Now, maybe you can talk about, again, Wagner, who's not getting a ton of minutes, right? And Billy Richmond, maybe you can put in that conversation because of his blocks. And he does alter a ton of shots. I've been bragging on him for doing that since he got here. I mean, he's with that length and the athleticism that he plays with, right? But again, it's not like there's just not enough here for me to agree with that. Offensively, oh my God, this team is just anybody could go for 20 points or more. Acuff's capable of 40 plus. I mean, Richmond is now, he might be one of the best two-way players in the SEC. It's crazy. It's crazy how much they are an offensive juggernaut. They're a glass cannon. Okay, for you RPG nerds out there, you know what a glass cannon is. That's what this team kind of feels like. Alabama definitely is a glass cannon. Arkansas is a more sturdy glass cannon. Maybe it's an awfully thick glass cannon, meaning it's all power, but it shatters real easy, right? I don't think they shatter real easy, but again, they gotta step it up a little bit more before I buy into what they're doing on defense. So Arkansas 11-4 in conference play, 2 games behind Florida. You're not playing for first place anymore on Saturday. There looked like there could have been an opportunity for that. with how Florida was struggling against Texas. Florida ended up they were toying with them in the last, whatever it was, 5-6 minutes of that game. That's what they do. So Florida on Saturday, I mean, I'll just tell you guys, this is going to be just an interesting game. I mean, obviously you've got the Boogie Flan dynamic there. You've got their front court. I mean, who's got the advantage there? I don't want to write this off like Arkansas is going to get dog walked out of that arena. They keep playing at the level they've played at this year. I mean, again, they've won 5 of their last 6 games. They're one of the most confusing losses. Well, I think just about all the losses have been confusing outside of like 3. But since Kentucky, they have turned it up, and they're averaging like 94 points a game since the Kentucky game, and that was a game they were able to contain the Arkansas offense in Bud Walton Arena. Again, that's a head scratcher. I think Arkansas 9 times out of 10 in Bud Walton. I think Arkansas wins that game. I really do. I think they're better at that time based on the roster availability at that time. I thought Arkansas was a pretty better by a pretty decent margin, better team. And you still lose that game 85-77. But then since then, I mean, 88 on the road at Mississippi State, or you win by 20. You absolutely beat the hell out of LSU, 91-62 at LSU. You took care of business against Auburn. You were good enough there. You won 88-75. Then you go on the road with 2 offensive juggernauts going at it, double overtime. You lose by 2 to Bama. 115 points scored in that one. 94 against Missouri, and down 99 against A&M. Yeah, this is like water and oil on Saturday against Florida. The style that they play with right now, Florida is favored by one of the largest margins I've seen to ranked opponents. Like, it's insane. Almost 80% in Florida's favor. I don't agree with that. Here's the funny thing. I think it's more of like a 60-40, definitely not an 80-20. Like ESPN says. I'd say it's more like a 60-40. So pretty big difference there. Going to see how they handle, their guards have kind of they've been heating it up a little bit lately. Still inconsistent. Big number 9 is going to be a problem. That's a cat averaging 12 and a half. What was it? 12, I think 12 rebounds a game. Number 10, he's a 17-point plus his defense, plus just the length that he could play with. This is an interesting game, man. And the matchup is going to be tough, I think, for Arkansas. I would take Florida to win this game. I'm not even going to try and act like I know what the score is going to be. I have no idea. This is, like I said, it is water and oil. And who's water and who's oil? I don't know. But it could be a dangerous mix here, and it could make for a really physical game. The thing that you worry about with Florida, again, not just their size and their front court, but like tonight, I mean, they only went with an 8-man rotation, right? Alex Condon, very efficient player, like very efficient against Texas. 10 of 12, 23 points, 4 boards, 3 assists, 4 blocks. They had 11 blocks against Texas, who had just 1. I mean, right there is a pretty good sign of what's happening here. When you talk about the size difference between the two and the type of physicality that they play with. Arkansas struggles with these teams, with these type of teams. You're going to try and speed them up. They can go to that 8-man rotation. Arkansas is not going to be far off. We'll see if Sealy, I just don't think he's going to make it in. I don't know what the deal is. I kind of thought he earned some minutes. So you're going to be playing with a 7-man rotation and a front court that can get pushed around a little bit. So I don't know, man. Again, Florida was struggling in this game against Texas, and then they ended up winning by 13 points, and it looked effortless in those final minutes. So it's going to make for a very interesting matchup against Florida. So I am taking Florida to win the game. It could be close. Hell, it could be overtime. It could be Florida running you off the floor. I don't know. I don't like our. It feels like they never win in Gainesville. So. Let's see. Yeah, who's officiating exactly? Give me Alex Condon over Pringle. Oh my God, yeah. Doug Show's got to watch out for him. Arkansas must show up early and on time Saturday. Yeah, 7:30 p.m. tip off. By the way, Arkansas must show up early and on time Saturday, not like they did against Auburn and Georgia. It's a game we can win. Go Hogs, go. Yeah, I do think this is a game that's within your reach to win, but it's one of those scenarios where it's like it kind of does depend on what Arkansas road team shows up, right? We've seen them lose to shitty teams that are not on your damn level. Just, getting pounded. Again, I hate to keep bringing up Auburn, Midburn. Who the hell did they just lose to? Oh, that's right, Oklahoma. Oklahoma got that W against Auburn. Most hell, they may not even be mid. They may actually be shitty. They're 6-9 now in conference play, 15-13 overall. Don't give me that. I'm still just heated when you think about that game when you lost 95-73 at their place. Just drives me crazy. You had no business losing that one the way you did. You had no business losing to Georgia the way you did. Just drives me crazy. But then you've had other games where you looked pretty good on the road. Not great, but you looked pretty good. They don't have that signature win, and that's what we're waiting on this year, right? If you don't win this one, then I guess maybe the signature win's going to be Mizzou, and I don't know how to feel about playing at Mizzou. They've lost at home, once, twice this year? I don't know. But I'm going to say this. We know you're a lock. Arkansas is a lock. We've known that now for a while. They're a lock. They're 11-4 in conference. They're 21-7. I mean, again, I don't agree. Jimmy Dykes says they're going to get they could get 11 teams in. I just don't know that I see that. I think it's going to be 9. It just kind of depends on the optics on the conference. But Arkansas should be a double bye in the SEC tournament, and how you handle these last games on the schedule. But trying to pull up this. There it is. Yeah. Okay. So you got at Florida, Texas, and Missouri. You win one of those last 3. You're a lock. I'm pretty sure. I'm bad at the projecting and the math and everything, but I'm pretty sure you're a double bye in the SEC tournament if you just win one of the next 3. You can't go 0-3. Texas has showed fight this year. They've showed they can be pretty competitive, but you should win that game. Making you a 1-loss home team, by the way. Cal just continues to look really good inside Bud Walton. That's easy to do. Bud Walton will do that for you. So, yeah, man, there's still a lot of ball left. You got 3 games regular season. We'll see what happens in the SEC tournament. And then we're in for March Madness. I'm so excited. So, yeah. Not sold on the Sweet 16 defense. Not sold on that. What was said tonight. That to me that's kind of a crazy take. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm wrong. You guys feel free to come at me, throw your tomatoes. I just don't see it. I think they are improving. I do think the defense is improving. I think they're getting to the point where maybe they're getting to that mid status on defense. Maybe they're a mid defense. But I'm not buying that this is a defense that could carry you. When you tell me it's a Sweet 16 defense, when you say something like that, that means you believe that this defense could carry this team, that this defensive play could carry them to the Sweet 16. I'm sorry. I don't see that happening. I think it's obviously going to be the offense. That's not to say they can't play a game or two great on defense, right? And then matchups matter. They always matter. The part of the bracket that you're in matters. Who you play absolutely matters. It can actually make you look better than you really are on one side of the ball or the other. But we know one thing's for damn sure. This is the best offense Arkansas's had in a really damn long time. It's like Bobby Petrino is coaching the offensive side of the ball for Razorback basketball. It's been so fun to watch. At least they're actually winning some games. I'm not putting the losses on Bobby, by the way. I'm not putting the football losses on Bobby. But we know the offense was cooking. The defense was cheeks, and the offense couldn't help but turn the ball over. It's what really just killed it for him. So, all right. What are we up at? What's our time? Where are we at? Where's my clock? Okay, 48 minutes. Beat Florida, then lose to Mizzou. I can see it, says Pigpen. Oh, my God. You're probably right. I can see that happening, too. I really could. Florida is really good. I don't want to expect. Yeah, Florida, they're starting to look like a Final Four. They're looking like a title contender. I mean, they are. They're playing damn good ball, man. I mean, the way they took that game over against Texas, it just looked like they weren't even trying. How about that? Acuff recover and get his 20. Yeah, right, Tuffy. I was talking about that earlier, man. That's breaking through the freshman wall. It really is, man. That is very well said, one Tuffy. You are right, sir. I agree. Yeah, a lot of freshmen get off to a slow start, and they just, they either start riding the bench because the coach can sense that they're in their feels, or they just don't really recover, and they kind of just become a role player, He turned it on, and he got his average. I mean, he's – good Lord. Something about wearing the number 5. It doesn't rub off on everybody, but it sure has rubbed off on him wearing that number 5, He definitely has earned that number 5 jersey. The Aggies basketball coach is a minor. I don't get it. He's a minor? Okay. It depends on if Doug Shows is the ref. Yeah, if Doug Shows is the ref, I'm sorry. On the road, good luck. That's a good question. Do we know who's officiating that game yet? When do they announce that? It's usually, isn't it like the day before they announce it? Oh God. All right. I appreciate everyone who stuck around. I always do. You guys you're awesome. You are fantastic, and I appreciate you. It is 11:20 at night here. We're gonna wrap this thing up. I was gonna try and stretch it out to an hour, but I don't think I'm going to. Need Acuff to go 13 of 14 for 3-pointers. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we're asking him to do that. I'd like to see some more. I want to see him tonight. Felt more like an anomaly than anything for him. We match up incredibly poorly against Florida. We need them to have an off night. We need Duck Shows to get lost. I agree with that. Appreciate you, Ty. Hey, I appreciate you, Brian. And please, again, make sure you guys check out Tuss Talk with Ty Patreon. All right, a lot of putting in the hours for Tuss Talk Patreon, putting in the time to bring that. It's a 10-minute video that I put out. What was that, yesterday? That took because I hate editing, and oh God, but that video took me like 2 hours, two and a half hours. Originally it was like 20 minutes long, and I had to do a lot of cutting. So go check out Tuss Talk with Ty Patreon. It helps the channel out tremendously. Also, for those of you who are interested, if you're in Discord, we're going to have a silent auction on a card. I've gone through, you guys know I've given away a ton of autographed cards. And maybe Hunter's done this before, or Hunter Henry. I don't know. I've not seen it. But he actually autographed this card, and it's a thick card. So it won't go as a flat. It's going to have to go as a I'm going to have to, ship it. So I got to pay for the shipping, and that's part of the reason why I'm auctioning the card, by the way. But it's a 2015, he signs it, 2015 John Mackey Award winner, Hunter Henry. I'm gonna auction off this card in Discord. I think we're gonna do a silent auction. If you're interested, DM me. Let me know that you're interested, and we'll get you in on this. I'm gonna try and get that going. If not, I'm gonna try and get that going as soon as I can. I need to start selling these cards they're just too thick, and you got to pay a shipping fee. So if I'm going to do that, I might as well just auction these things off. But yeah, again, there it is. You can see it's a gorgeous card, by the way. Look at that. But Hunter Henry, former Arkansas player. This is autographed, and he signed it. If you look at the top, it says 2015 John Mackey Award winner. I've not seen that, and I've given away a ton of his cards. Maybe he's done that before. I don't know. We're going to auction it off though, so. You'll get a rare card, possibly. If you want to get in on the auction. So, think Knox being out is what? That's a good question, Pigpen. That's a good question. Yeah, I think it has something to do with it. Obviously, him getting more minutes, it's played a big role. I think so. I think you're right, Pigpen. It definitely has. All right, everybody, that's it. Appreciate you on your way out. Like, share, hit the subscribe button. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Also, I keep being told that you can hype the YouTube videos up now. That's another thing YouTube has. I guess it's good. I guess it helps keep the video in the algorithm, I guess. I don't really know. You see it after the live show, and if you scroll down to the comments, you could scroll over. Where it says comments, you can actually scroll over, and you can hype the video. I don't know, man. You could do that if you want. I guess it helps the channel out. I don't really know, but hey, and do that too, I guess. So, all right. Shout out to Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company. Same day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than the best. 1,000+ 5-star reviews. 501-244-3667. Again, that's Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. Same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than the best in Central Arkansas. New website. Go check them out if you need some work done on your garage door, whether it needs to be repaired or replaced. They are the guys to call. All right, I will see you guys on Saturday. Unless I go live before then, I'll see you on Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your week. Good victory. See you then.